How are you?
Alrighty. It's warming up out there.
Yes, it is. Norway, this is a one in this town.
Yeah, man. It's time to go out of town. Next week it's all triple digits.
Is it?
Yeah, next week.
I try to ignore it.
Man, yeah, that's
I'm
you
in
can
an
try,
office most
but
of the day, but this has actually been kind of a cool summer so
yeah,
far.
yeah, we've had some really nice, cold, unprecedented cooler weather.
Particularly on the 4th of July. I've never seen one like that. Why can't it be like that all the time?
Meeting, Friday, July 8th, 2022. Roll call, please. Present.
Present.
Councilwoman Diane Maldonado. Present. Councilwoman Sabrina Rodriguez.
Present.
Councilwoman Catherine Senorio.
Present.
Treasurer Michelle Lopez. Present.
Please rise for the flag salute.
Before we start, can I just make sure to remind everybody to speak into the microphones? And when you speak in the audience, they can't hear you on YouTube. So if you can please come and speak at the microphone.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so we're going to go to which we have a presentation from Senator Melissa Hurtado. Hi, Senator, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can. Hi, and welcome to our council meeting. We're happy to have you on tonight.
Give me just a second. Can't hear you very well.
Okay.
Okay. Is it okay to speak now?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, hello. Good evening to everyone here listening in on the City Council, special City Council meeting. I know that it's been a while since I've been able to provide an update specifically to the City of Parlier, but I have to say that I wanted to provide some amazing and great breaking news for the people of Parlier, and that's that with the help of the mayor and the council, and of course all the great staff that work at City Hall, we were all able to secure $2.5 million to help. Basically, to have a help with the new police station that you're looking to expand on and renovate. Because, look, I know how back in before I even ran for state senate, that this was a police department that needed a lot of financial support from the state, from the federal government, because small rural communities have often left behind. And now with the pandemic, we know that crime has gone up. But you know what? I believe the efforts from the mayor began back in 2017. They've continued on, and I can't say that it has been easy, because it hasn't. But we were able to secure the $2.5 million. We're so excited for the city, and I hope that that it serves the constituents of the community, and of course this is just such a major win for the city and for the leaders of the city who made it all possible.
And could you also mention the the fire department, as far as their funding that they were able to achieve as well?
Yeah. So the Fresno local county fire department, also we secured, I believe it was $2.5 million. Don't quote me on that. Because I don't have all the numbers of the budget requests that we've made in front of me. But I want to say that they were also awarded those funds, and those funds are going to help the community of Parlier as well, because I know that they all provide services to you. They're very much excited, and so I think in total this is close to a $5 million win for the community of Parlier.
Yes, and I also want to thank Townsend, that they also were part of this, and they helped really to make this happen and come to fruition. So thank you to Townsend as well. But thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate everything that you do for us, and we are going to miss you in your new district that you're going to be representing, which is a loss for us, but a gain for them. So I hope we can still work together and continue to build a relationship that we already have. So thank you, and good luck to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I'll just say that East Fresno County is where I was born and raised, and it will always have a special place in my heart. And at the end of the day, this is one valley, and just because the lines have moved doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to advocate for the entire Central Valley.
Mayor Beltran, could I say a quick word?
Sure, absolutely. Christopher, go right ahead.
I just want to mention, because Melissa is very humble, but what was very special about what she accomplished is at the very last moments of the budget process, the governor demanded that the legislature slash their projects that they were requesting, like cut it by a third overall. So members were scrambling to figure out which projects they're going to throw overboard or slash the spending. And Melissa stood tall for Parlier, and she did a great job with that pressure. So thank you, Melissa.
Well, of course.
Thank you,
I
guys.
just want to emphasize once again that this effort started long before me, and I know that there has always been a need in our rural communities. I know that this will significantly help, but I know that there's a lot more that still could be done. And like I said, the senator prior to me in this seat had a bill, Senate Bill 453, that looked to securing funds for public safety purposes for the entire district. Wasn't successful, but it took the fight and the push from the leaders at the local level that made it all possible today.
Thank you again. We do appreciate everything you do. And Christopher, we do know how hard she works, and she really fights for the communities, and we appreciate that. That's why it's going to be a loss for us, a gain for the other district, but we'll still continue to build those relationships with her. She might return one of these days. You never know. She might be in Congress one day. You know, we don't know. So we're still going to continue to build our relationship with you. So thank you again, Melissa, Senator Melissa Hurtado. We do appreciate everything that you do. I do have Humberto Gomez that does want to say a few words. So if you still have time, he just wants to say something to you. So if it's okay.
All what I want to tell you es muchísimas gracias, Melissa. Y yo sé que te estás cambiando de área, pero no olvides que aquí creciste, que eres una de nosotros. Así que espero que sigas trabajando con todos nosotros juntos para mejorar no solamente el East Side, pero también el West Side. Porque todo aquí creciste, todo en esta área, y tenemos fe en ti que lo vas a lograr. So que Dios te bendiga y muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, Melissa. I know you're really, really busy, and so I appreciate that you actually took some time to be able to share this with us. Great news is for the city of Parlier. So thank you again. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you also to Christopher Townsend and Andres Ramirez.
I think, is he still on?
Andres? Yeah, Townsend's still on. And
Yep.
and I just wanted to introduce Andres Ramirez and to the council. He took the lead on our project. So I just wanted to make sure we recognize you.
Thank you. And, just to reiterate what Christopher already said, this is really all credit to the senator and her incredible staff. To use a sports analogy, I would like to say, we tossed up an alley-oop and the senator was the superstar who slam dunked it, got the points, won the game. As Christopher mentioned, sometimes there are funding disagreements between, various parties and different houses of the legislature and administration, but the senator's always been able to stand strong for the Valley and her communities. And so I think, we're really blessed just to have a long-standing relationship with her and her office. But again, the credit is all to Senator Hurtado and her team because, this is not possible without them. And, just want to thank them for all their work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. We can move on to public comments. And if anybody wants to address the council at this time, may do so.
Lily Renteria, 687 Tuolumne Street, Parlier. I'm just kind of upset because my name.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't like talking in front of people like this. Yeah, you can call me a crybaby. I don't give a shit. But my name is being slandered all over what's happening in Parlier because somebody is giving that one flew over the cuckoo's nest, Christina Tapia, false accusations about me. Before I put my fence up, I came to City Hall. Do I need a permit? Because I need to put a fence up because of my insurance. I asked Sonia, and she said, no, everything was good. 6 feet high? Yes. So then we took care of that. Then I'm at the doctor's office. I get a call from the court enforcer, and he said, Ms. Renteria, this is this and this and that. Do you have a permit to put a brick fence? And I go, excuse me, what? A brick fence? It's a wooden fence. Well, we got to complain. I go for the love of God. So I was nervous. My doctor told me to calm down. Why am I going to get a heart attack? So what happens? Somebody from Parlier passed by and takes pictures of my house, of the fence, and goes tells that fruitcake in Texas that has nothing to do. She said she left Parlier because she can't stand it. Now all of a sudden, my name is being bashed. And I wonder who is doing that? Who is giving false information? I'm a sick girl, and I have heart problems. And I don't know why you, Kathy Solorio, is doing this to me. Now, don't look around. Why don't you face me? Yeah, you face me. Face me.
I want that for the record. I'm being falsely accused, please. I need that on the record.
Yes, put it in the record that she's falsely accused. Your own family, own people are saying what you're saying, girl. You leave me out of this, Kathy. You're supposed to be in your district, not mine, okay? You leave me alone. You're putting me down. What did I do to you? What did I do? Because I'm friends with the mayor and I talked to Sonia because she's a person that I asked for advice. And you could do whatever you want. But there's a lot of people that are saying what you're doing. And you could go ahead, you get your lawyers, because let me tell you, my love, I got a lawyer. And if something happens to my health, that's up to you, what you're doing, okay?
Can you please give the name of the people that I am
Oh, sure,
talking to
Kathy.
for the record?
Oh, sure, I'm going to do that, Kathy.
We need, for the record, you guys, we need
Christina,
witnesses. okay?
Christina Navarro Tapa, your homegirl.
My family you're saying, and she's, okay?
You know what? Like I said, I'm not gonna, I already have high blood pressure. My minutes are up. I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry, people, but I'm tired of it. Look at what's happening in Parlier. Who's giving all this false information that my electricity costs $149,000 and something? That fruitcake? Who told the fruitcake that? Who sent the fruitcake the picture? I rest my case. Thank you, Sonia, lawyer, but if something happens, I am going to do a lawsuit because I cannot take it. And my family, I already talked to my doctor. If I die or something because of her, that's all I'm going to say. Thank you for letting me my time. Let's go. No, I'm getting the hell out of here. Come on,
Okay, you're my right home. Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh, now I'm bleeding. Could somebody get me a Band-Aid, please?
What happened?
I got scratched. But anyways,
Can I explain what happened?
yes,
Yes.
please, could you?
I'm sorry that a simple mistake by finance department caused all this trouble, but we are human beings and we're allowed to make a mistake on a check and void it and reissue it. And I don't think it should have gotten to this level where people just assume. What happened is on May 16th, 2022, we made a check to a vendor. Apparently, we made it to, there was the business and there's the vendor's name, right? The owner's name of the business. So we made it to the business owner's name. The business owner's name said, I want it in the name of my business, which is, he's correct. So we voided the check and we reissued the check. He comes in a week we reissued the check to the business name. A week later, he comes in, he says, I lost the check. So he lost the check, so we put a stop payment. And then 2 days later, he comes back, he says, I found the check. So we already put a stop payment, so we're not going to, we need to basically reissue another check. So we reissue a check, and sadly, we put in, as human beings that we are, we put in the wrong amount. It was a higher amount. And we noticed this, we voided the check. Finally, we wrote the check to this person, and we took a fee for the stop payment, because why should the city pay for a check that he misplaced and he found later? So that's what happened. Now, I know it's been said that the $35 is an NSF that we paid. The city did not pay. As a matter of fact, if the city paid, it would have been that plus the amount, and it was actually reduced. We took less from the vendor. We took an amount, minus the bank fee. So that's what happened. And sadly, this just got out of proportion. People just assume, and it was a simple mistake. But that just shows you how, and I think that happens a lot in Parlier. For some reason, people just want to assume the worst of Parlier, but you guys should really look around and see all the good things that Parlier is doing as well. So that's what happened with the check. And I'm sorry, Lily, that this happened to you, that,
It's all right. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate all of you.
Lil, you said about the pictures, how did they get those? Those were public, as that it was included in our packet and what was posted online. So that's where those screenshots came from. Of the of the documents, like the amounts.
Doesn't she have to talk
Oh, the
over there?
fence.
Sonia, doesn't she have to talk
Yeah.
over there?
Okay.
Was there any
Okay.
documents
I was just
that
clarifying
were
on the
public?
amount.
Doesn't she have to go talk over there?
There was no documents that were public pictures. No, yeah, but I think she's talking about her pictures. Yeah, yeah. No, the checks, but it doesn't say Lily Renteria on there either, so that's why she's
Sabrina,
upset.
you did come this afternoon and you looked at all the paperwork,
Yes, I did.
right?
I
And
had
you
questions.
understood what I'm saying?
Yes, I had the questions and I verified and I looked at the pay warrants and all that stuff.
And
yes.
you saw that all that stuff was
It was a
voided and
yes,
stopped payment?
And this was explained at the last meeting, because this is not the first time we went over these checks, and it was put on record. We asked Dorothy to make sure that it was on the minutes, explaining the mistakes that were made and the corrections that were done, and it was only one check for $14,000 and not $140-something thousand that was actually shared on Facebook. I don't understand.
Well, no, that came out on,
came
on
out.
the new list. That came out. That was the
But
mistake.
that's the
new-
corrections.
no, but it was put in as that transposed amount, and then it was corrected. That's what
That's
happened
from
in
her
this one.
records, but not, because
No,
those are
it
the
was in here.
voided ones, right?
No,
They're not voided?
No, they're voided. The issue
I
is.
thought they were voided.
no,
issue-
it's
but-
listed as a payment.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're voided, is what
Yeah,
she's
but
saying.
No.
the void didn't come out in that list is the issue. It didn't come out in the list, and that
But
was
I'm
the
trying to say, was it paid out?
No.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No, the
It
check
was
is
not
still
paid
here,
out.
was
So
not
we
paid
didn't
out.
pay
It's-
anybody $140-something thousand dollars.
No.
It
Did
was
we?
the check was printed. It was caught.
But
That's
what-
what I asked
Yeah.
today. The check was printed. It was caught. They're gonna void it. It's not listed on the current warrants. And then the
'Cause it was
corrected check was made
We had
out.
this
But we already
discussion
made
at
the
the last
discussion.
meeting, is what
but
I'm
the
trying-
transposed 143,000 was
We're
not
not
on
gonna
there.
get out of here. The thing is that
Yeah.
it was
Well,
not
it's
paid
there.
out.
I could screenshot that.
That's what I'm just trying to say. It was not paid out, correct?
No.
No.
Oh, okay, that's it. Fine, thank you.
Okay, I just want to say that I have nothing to do with the pictures. I don't even go through that section. I have not said one word. It's not my district. It doesn't pertain to me. I'm being so falsely accused here. First, Tapia was my family member. It was a proven sealed fact that she's a family member. She's nothing to me. Nothing. I don't even know who she is. Thanks to Alma. She's my family member now. And Pimentel agreed that it's our family member, to let you know. So that's to the extent where it went. False accusation again. I don't care what Lily does to her house. I don't care what anything, nothing. I have my own life, my own business, my own district. I don't put nothing on Facebook. I don't give nobody information. I don't have nothing to do with that. Just for the record, to let you guys know, like I was accused, even by a family member, that lady is my family and she's nothing to me because she's abiding by someone else. Thank you.
You contact her all the time. We received an email.
The problem here, people, and on live stream, she does not want us to talk. She doesn't. I can't talk. We can come in City Hall because she's here immediately. Anything we do, it has to go through her. They put a refrigerator out in front of my house. They called for court enforcement. What I understood, she was involved in it. It says in the guidebook that I read, because I'm getting tired of these false accusations, very tired. I've talked to you guys out there in the community. Have you ever heard me say something about the city council? I've never said anything. But all roads lead to Alma. All roads do. Bottom line, thank you.
Alrighty, so, anybody else want to talk on, address any? Go ahead. Okay.
No, al contrario, I want to go on record de que no quiero que tumben los árboles. Sé que tenemos problemas, and we putting our city council member in the middle. Sonia knows that cannot be done. Lo que tienen que hacer es podarlos, limpiarlos para que se vean como los que están y donde vive él, René López. Es todo lo que tienes que hacer. Deben de pasar por allí. Yo le he dicho a Trino, pasa por allí, a Sonia, pasa por allí. Yo tengo un árbol igual de esos y le hago el mismo procedimiento. Le aseguro que si viera cómo está el mugrero que tiene Polo, yo se lo he visto. Es un mugrero, pero lo debemos a todos ustedes que no hacen caso. You guys don't do the thinning and the pruning. Sonia has those kinds of trees, and she does the pruning and thinning, and nothing happened to them. I do the same thinning and pruning to my tree, and nothing happened. You know, it's growing, still growing. So that's what you guys need to do. And on the other thing, I'm sorry what happened to Lucy, and I'm sorry what is going on here. You can see why I get tired, Mayor.
Yeah.
Every time that I go to other town, they tell me, oh, Parlier this or Parlier that. And I'm getting tired because I used to live here. I've been here for so many years. And I'm tired of hearing the same chismes, you know, once against another one.
It's a lot.
You know, and he knows that I can file a Brown charge every month if I really want to, because I never got the information on time I requested. But I don't want to do that for the same reasons that I'm putting Parlier in the mouth of everybody else on that.
You're
all over.
saying that you didn't get the information from Bertha?
Yeah, that's no.
Bertha, you weren't able to get
Thank you, because I got the last information.
So
You know,
was
but
it-
every
No,
time
I
that I
just wanna
request,
make sure you're getting
no,
your
I
public
got it, and I thank you guys for that. I already thanked them for it.
I just wanted to make sure
You know, but you know, actually, it bothers me that we bring even personal issues here to the council. See, people is bothering me on what I had to do as this and this is letter. I can ask even the council to help me. And he can charge me, but it's this and this is letter. And that way you don't have to put Parlier in the middle of these things that are happening. The other thing is
We can't stop people from
No, I know.
You know that. We can't stop them. If they want to come and insult us all they want, you know, it happens to me all the time. So it's like, I can't tell them, well, don't let that person in.
I know, and I don't blame Lucy. You know, she's pissed off, and she has to be pissed off. I don't know, and that's one of the reasons I don't have Facebook or anything like that. You know, because I don't want to be involved in anything like that. But on the other point, I really thank you, and I was proud to see you yesterday in the meeting, court meeting. I'm not in agreement with that too.
I know.
That two event.
But you know what?
Let me just explain to you my reason. My reason says that they're not giving us enough on the environmental side. And for me, it will be better so we can have a project labor agreement so you can check or what you call it, a project stabilization agreement, so you can check and make sure that they're complying with the local hiring.
And I'm part of two boards, so I will be involved in all of that. So
Okay.
so that's going to help. And actually, from the 60 million that I said the last time that we were going to receive, it's 67 million.
It's going to increase.
Yeah,
it
it increased by
bit more.
$7 million more.
Yeah.
So that will help for trails, for sidewalk improvements, for the roads that are out, you know, that we need to work on.
Right.
Because from 500,000 to 2.2 million a year, that's a big difference, and that will help us be able to fix more.
Remember that we still had to pass Measure C. So
Well,
if it happened, we
I
would get the
think-
monies. If it doesn't happen, we would
But
get
we still
zero.
have, see, that's why you do it early. That's like with Measure Q. You do it ahead of time, so if it doesn't pass the first time, you put it on the second time. So we have
I'm all
time.
for it, see? This is a building trees.
Well, make sure you let everybody know that it's gonna help Parlier, so that way they can
Oh,
support
that's
it.
the reason that I was there.
Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody else that wants to, go ahead.
How you guys doing? My name is Leopoldo Trevino. I live 8589 Rene Lopez Street. It's a good issue what Humberto said, maybe trim them, but I don't want to trim my trees. I want them gone. I'm tired of cleaning. I'm tired of the wind coming every so often, and I have to clean all that up. You guys are more than welcome to go out there and talk to all that side of the street to see what their opinion is. Lupita, she owns her name is Vicky. She owns Carnicera Lupita. She has a swimming pool. She can't even use her swimming pool because it gets clogged with pine needles. So what's a trim gonna do? Take out a couple of pine needles? I mean, if we remove the trees and find some other kind of tree that doesn't throw leaves all year long, you know what I mean? I'm for it. You know, something different. The trees, yeah, they're nice. They give good shade, but I'd rather buy a pop-up tent and block the sun than go out there and spend 2-3 hours cleaning everything, all the pine needles. You can even ask David, I would throw the pine needles over the fence. You know what I mean? Because I got tired of hauling those trash cans, and I was like, you know what's your mess? I'll throw it over the fence. But I just, I got neighbors that their porches rotted out because of the pine needles will sit on there in the winter and they hold moisture, and the roof just rotted out. I got them on my roof, which is a fire hazard.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but we did talk to Javier, and I think you have it on the list. Remember we mentioned that one area where it's on, is it on Academy, right?
Yeah.
It's on Academy.
Yeah.
So it's the pine trees that we mentioned.
Pine needles.
He's gonna have to do, and I know that because there's a lot on his plate right now, so it's not that he's forgotten about
that's
it.
fine. That's fine. It's just, I mean, Trino, Henry Street or Harvey Street. What does it make a mess at your house?
Yeah, he complains about it.
That's
too.
only one tree.
That's what I was going to say right now.
That's only one
I've
tree.
been dealing with that for 30 years, and
Berto only got one tree, and when the wind blows, it blows to his grass, so he just mows it over, or it blows to the street. No, when it blows, it lands on my roof, it lands in my backyard, it lands everywhere.
yeah,
And then,
I get it on top of my cars. Actually, this is not as bad as the first one. Was that it was throwing sap, and it just ruined the paint on one of my Riviera.
Yeah.
It just ruined it completely, and now I get every morning I have to get up and take out from the wipers, take it out in. And I understand what you're saying, but again, I think the mayor mentioned right now that Javier's on top of that, and it will be looked at. And I sympathize with you guys. I know because I've been going through it. So hopefully things will be taken care of.
Where is it at in the list? I know because he has a list. I know he's working
you guys are
on.
gonna beautify Academy anyways, right? In the center medium. You know, if you guys want pine trees, plant them there. They'll give a shade, so when the wind blows, it's gonna land on the street.
Yeah, pine trees are not ideal for the city. They're kind of dangerous trees. They dry out. They require tons of water.
Is it possible just, I mean, what are the options?
So the options is to go to like a non-deciduous tree, so a tree that doesn't shed its leaves, like a live oak essentially.
So you're saying basically to remove them?
Yeah, I mean, and they're really they're a danger around town.
Well,
they're beautiful, but
my
they
thought
dry out.
actually in looking at those trees, there's some cities that actually do not allow those trees in the city because those trees are dangerous.
Yeah,
And especially in the heat, they can catch on fire. If they catch on fire,
they're a coastal
and
tree.
they come down onto a person's house, it can actually hurt. I mean, it can catch several homes on fire.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
it was what
with all the pine
it was
needles on
what
them.
about 2 years ago, 3 years ago on the 4th of July, that on Bigger Street we had 3 of those trees burned down, all at one time, and I think it caught a little bit of the corner house. They caught it on time.
They'll go up like that.
But no, again, you know, we're gonna be. I mean, Javier's gonna look into it, and like I said, I sympathize with you guys because I've been going through it, and I don't want to be a bad neighbor, but you know, my wife gets very upset. But you know, it is what it is, and we just have to deal with it. And but in your case, was it the city that planted those trees?
Yes, and that was something I was looking at was trying to, you know, put something together to, put an ordinance together to get rid of those trees in town after the fire. But then I saw in Academy that the city planted all of those trees.
In closing,
so we need to determine what we're going to do.
In closing, we got Javier looking into it.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll get it corrected real quick.
Thank you. Yeah, especially the ones behind my house, they're drying out. They're drying out, and they're just throwing a lot of needles, and it's just frustrating.
I had a conversation with Sonia prior, Sonia? Before that, you were saying you were trying to figure out something to get those trees, dangerous trees, removed. Sonia? You remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
She did try to see what she can do, but I think...
Well, that's when we started working together with Javier. So Javier's looking into it, and we'll put something together, a plan together.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Or maybe you guys could knock them down and give us that 5 feet of property, and you guys don't have to pay for maintenance now. It makes my backyard bigger. Thank you.
We just have to put some other trees up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to come back and have your wives
They protect us from the pesticide.
I told you last time, my gate is
Okay.
open all the time.
Okay.
Okay, we got somebody at the podium. Thank you.
Yes, thank
My
you.
name is Fernando Banuelos. I reside on 560 H Street in Parlier, California. My question is for Sonia Hall. Can you please give a job description of who Alma Beltran, who is the mayor and she works at the city?
She's not an employee.
Okay, she's not. Okay, does she get paid?
No, not as an employee, no.
Okay. Now, who pays her?
Who pays her?
Yes.
She's paid, she is paid as the mayor, the
Okay.
regular. Wait,
But
I mean, it's a
who,
stipend, yeah.
who pays her? Because she makes, she works for I think she works, what, $35,000 from the city?
What was that?
She has, I'm speaking to her, I'm sorry. Because I do know that she's working for the city, am I correct?
Just as a mayor, she gets her regular stipend as mayor.
No. I do understand that. I remember about 3.5 years that she got a position for the city of Parlier, and she'll be working per diem. She'll be getting paid per diem.
What we can
So
do,
if you can please
print out
tell me
the
what's her job
W-2
description,
forms
because
for
she does
last
have an
year that would
office.
answer
Excuse me,
his
I'm
questions.
speaking to her, please.
I'm asking for her to print it out. That's
And
public record.
so
in
I'm
our
asking
system.
her.
Well,
Okay.
you're allowed to come here and make comments, sir.
Uh-huh.
You're not allowed to come in here and interrogate our employees.
I'm not interrogating. I'm just asking a
Yes.
question.
So could you please print out the W-2 forms from last year?
Okay.
Would you
I'm going to ask the question again. Mrs. Hall?
No, yeah, because he's
You
saying
are
that I'm
the,
making 35,000, so I want it on record too. I'm not.
I'm asking a very simple question, okay? Mrs. Hall, since you are the city manager, can you please tell me what her position is?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can you please tell me what her position is, Mrs. Alma Beltran?
She's the mayor.
Your
Okay.
question is
So the question to you again is that she has a desk at the office. What is her duties? She said last time that she is the carita de Parlier, which is the pretty face for Parlier, from about 2.5 years ago. You did say that. I know, I laughed at too, but can you please identify her position?
she's the elected mayor of.
I'm speaking to Mrs. Hall right now.
Well, that's the answer to your question. You
I
may be
do
talking-
understand that 3.5 years ago, she was given a position, and it was
may
per
not
diem.
like the answer, but that's the answer.
So that was per diem, because I do remember you said that.
So back then, she was given the position to come in and she received a per diem. That's when I
Okay.
was the city administrator.
Okay.
And I became the city manager.
Okay. So she does have a position.
No, she doesn't. She was receiving per diem
Like I receive per diem when I go to meetings.
just to
Okay.
come
That's-
in
that's-
and go to meetings. She was coming in a little more just to see what was going on here in the office.
Because you get a per diem.
To be able to give the information to
If
the
I
council.
was getting
Okay.
a salary, $110 for one whole entire day of work, if you're claiming that I'm working.
I didn't
as
say
an-
that.
If you're claiming that I'm working as an employee, I'm extremely underpaid. I'm way under minimum wage.
Okay,
She-
number
so
one, I
what
didn't say,
she
I was,
She only
excuse me, I'm
receives
sorry,
it
I
when
wasn't
she
speaking to
attends
you,
meetings
Mrs.
on
Hall.
behalf of the city. That's it.
Uh-huh.
You know what?
Okay.
You know what?
So the other
Fernando,
issue is this.
I know that you're
Excuse
trying
me.
to win for your election, so.
Excuse me, I'm not.
Do your campaigning outside.
Okay.
Don't come over
I'm
here
not speaking
making
to you,
false
Mrs.
accusation and try
Beltran,
to
Mrs.
interrogate
Hall.
anybody
It's
here.
just when she-
Your
when
time
she-
is up already.
Okay.
And just campaign. Do it the right way.
Okay.
If people want to vote
And the other
for you,
issue too is that,
vote for you.
COG meetings, Measure C meetings.
okay. So the other issue too is this. Why is it that every time I come to a meeting, okay, number one, she calls up the adult services that I'm beating up my mother. Number two, she calls in-home services and tells lies to Luis. Number three, she calls the police officers that I'm harassing people. And then the last time is I know that you like to laugh, but I'll tell
Oh
you
my
one thing.
goodness. Thank you.
The last time you
and
called
have
the
a-
cold enforcement out, I have every right to come to the meetings.
Yeah, but your time
Okay.
is up. Your time is up and you're just being destructive. If you want to run, but if you want to run, go ahead. I'm not, but don't come over here and think that this is how you're going to get an election, okay? Yes, you've been trying to do that. In 2018, you tried to do the same thing. I don't like that you try to just insult, and that's it. That's just what men that are always trying to go after women do, aggressive men.
Can you please,
So
say that again, please?
I said that you're aggressive.
Does anybody, okay, what do you mean by that, being aggressive?
Look at the way you're acting.
No, because you brought it up at the office.
You're
What
not?
did you say?
Move on.
What did you
Thank
say?
you. Have a great day.
What'd you say in
We're
front of
moving
public?
on to anybody else want to speak because his time is up.
Fernando, this is what's happening. I'm being dragged left and right and falsely accused.
Okay.
Very bad.
So now it's a
And
personal-
you know what? It's a
What
it's a
meeting are we
personal thing
having?
between the mayor and us. You're getting dragged. I'm getting dragged. That's not right.
Then let's just
That's
go
what
on
it is,
to
people. She don't let us talk.
because
That's the way it is.
This is not being productive.
She's trying to ruin my career, political career. Let's just do it fair and square. You don't hear me say nothing bad. That's all.
Okay. Let's move on.
Speaker's time has expired, Madam Mayor.
I just got here.
No, not yours.
Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Lopez. I reside at 335 Herring Street in Parlier. And first of all, I want to congratulate the council, the senator, for attaining the funds for Chief. Congratulations on the additional funds for the police department and the fire department as well. Thank you. You guys answered my questions I had online on Facebook about the funds for the fire department. As a previous PCF and a civil servant for the city of Parlier back in the 1990s, 2000, it's a huge help that we have a 24/7 hour service just like our police department. So I want to thank you guys for that and greatly appreciate it. The other thing I want to ask or say is I commend you all for all of that. However, I'm just a little disappointed on how just things are being run. And you guys are our elected officials. We look up to you guys and we expect you guys to act civilly amongst each other and provide the information that we ask and have a feedback to the city, the citizens of Parlier. The attorney, he's the voice of the people. He has best interests for us. So we look for you to help us with that as well when there's discrepancies or these altercations or innuendos of false accusations. It's best if it's handled closed doors, whatever. It's unfortunate. This is a new era. Way back when, we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Twitter. So it's just a new era where everybody has to be able to knuckle up and be able to work together to provide what's best for the city of Parlier. I didn't come back because I had to, I wanted to. So
Thank you, and
just
we
hopefully-
appreciate everything that you're saying.
Hopefully this just is just my plea for you guys to work together and let's prosper.
And we need to.
Stephen Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. We do need that, and it's sometimes we need to hear it too. So and remind us of why we're here.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Is there anybody else that would like to approach the podium at this time? Could you, so, because everybody can't hear you. Now we're on like.
No, it was just how everything's being done in town. Everything's, are you going, are you asking the stores and the restaurants and everybody to also do their share too? Because some of them are really bad. You know, I mean, all that money is being nice to reface everything and they should do their part and upgrade inside their stores and restaurants.
I was just asking.
I don't know if you want to address that, because I think with the code enforcement stuff. So we are working with them to slowly be able to help them fix the code violations or bring their buildings up to code. Some of the buildings have already worked or gotten some loans to be able to work on their buildings with their roof and electrical issues.
Especially the roof, I mean, they're all,
Yes.
everything's falling apart, but everything's gonna be fresh.
So-
And when you walk in, it's gonna look like the same old thing.
Little by little, we'll be able, little by little, we'll be able to get to it. Oh, no, things like that, we're addressing. Things like that, we're addressing. We've got code enforcement working on that. So things like that, we are addressing.
Okay, that was just my question, just because I see what's going on. Also too, whenever you, Fig Street needs the sidewalks, I think Danette brought it up to you, but Fig Avenue, I mean, Fig Avenue.
And I
Explain to her that it's the list that he's working.
It is, but you know, a lot, the children walk there.
Yeah.
You have to walk on the street
Well-
and then go back on the sidewalk halfway there.
Yeah, I think with before the next school year, you think that you might be able to?
Yeah, especially if the homeowners work with us because we don't have city property there. The reason we can't put a sidewalk is because it's private property. So we're gonna have to really reach out to the homeowners and try to see if they can give us at least 5 feet so we can fit a sidewalk in there.
In front, that's all private property?
Yeah.
That's not city?
It's not city. We only have about 2 feet. If you ever seen the little concrete curb about 2 feet in from the curb, that's all we have. Unfortunately, it's been like that for many years.
Only 5 houses that don't have sidewalk.
So tell Danette she has to give up 5 feet of her
Yeah,
front
if they
yard.
can, it would be good.
Don't cut that yard out anyway.
Yeah. That if they work with us, we can.
Yeah, and he is looking into that because it should have the sidewalks. And now with our funding that we will be able to utilize those funds for Measure C once it passes. Right, Humberto? Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Just let me say, we have hired Javier, who is doing a great job and trying to meet all these things that we've given him. We've piled up on him. We also hired a good code enforcer who is now going around and real politely and everything, letting people know that this is Parlier. You do not destroy your properties. You try to keep them up. He's done a fantastic job. That's what we've heard from our personnel, and they're going to continue doing that. However, it's only one person, so he's trying to work as fast as he can and trying to get these things accomplished. And hopefully, I'm like you. I mean, I've been here all my life, and since 1948, I've been here. So I want, but this is why I'm up here, because I wanted to be up here to get these things done. And this is why we hired these people, so that they can go out there and change the outcome of the outlook of Parlier. And that's what we're trying to do. And it's going to take time. I mean, it took over 100 years to get Parlier, about 100 years to get Parlier to this point. And it's, hopefully it won't take us that long. But we are working on it. They're working on it, and we will continue working for our constituents here in Parlier.
Oh, once again, Stephen Lopez, 335 Herring Street. Councilman Pimentel, you brought up a good point. My question is, the code enforcement officer that is just recently hired or is on staff now, are they just for structural, or is it landscape, upkeep of yards?
Everything.
Everything, okay.
He's he's going out and he's doing like sections because he's one person.
Of course.
So he sees like abandoned houses in one area, he'll do abandoned houses in the whole.
I'm not going to ask what the target is, but maybe the priority should be, and I'm sorry if I'm out of line, but considering the situation and the time of the year we are at right now, is maybe the fire hazards, homes that have weed abatement issues, palm trees that have extended years of not being pruned, I live in an area. We work well with my neighbors, but we can only go so far.
He, like I said, he's doing sections, but I will bring that up to him and put it on his radar so that he's watching for that.
Okay, just a suggestion. Any weed abatement or just fire hazards, or maybe Cal Fire can take a drive through the areas and address that as well. I know
He does work with them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Is there anybody else? No? Okay. All right, then, let's move on to consent calendar. Any item that we would like to pull at this time?
Just, can we pull out one?
Sure.
I just have.
Yeah,
Just clarification.
that's fine. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes with 2 and 3? Earl Ruth Park? Motion by Trino, second by Diane. All those in favor? Motion carries 5 yes. Okay, so let's talk about item number 1.
Item number 1, that check was on there. I did come and talk to Sonia, and I figured it was an error. And I just got confirmation that it was an error. Will Ally, question for you, is the voided check gonna be on the next warrant, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, cause there's no voided check on here, and I knew that. But yeah, once I saw it, I went down and I saw, okay, well, here's the correct amount that it should be.
Mhm.
So yeah, that got taken care of, cause yes, I did get questions on that as well, but that was one of the ones that I saw. The bank, I did ask Sonia questions on the bank card center. There was some charges for stuff from Vegas, and you guys went to a conference, Sonia and Alma, and I got clarification on all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I just asked Sonia that next time that it comes up to council for approval, and that was my bad that I didn't ask that back then. When it got approved, it said to approve all the expenses, but next time if we can put the amount of expense, what is being spent for that conference. So registration, travel.
And I think you've done that before. You didn't do it this
No,
last
it's
time?
not. I have.
No. I'm not saying.
That's what.
No, in the past, it's always been put an amount for
On the,
actual, the backup.
Yeah.
The backup.
It wasn't on the backup. The backup was just the itinerary.
Yeah, 'cause
I have it here, so if anybody
No.
wants.
The backup that when we issue the check for them.
yeah, and there's a backup there, and it has like the reservation, the conference fee.
The mileage then.
Comes to council for approval.
You want the backup.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
so that, okay, it's gonna cost.
Yeah, and that's fine.
$5 for whatever.
That's
It'll
fine.
be an estimate, because there is some expenses that
Yeah.
come up when they're out there. So
Sorry,
if-
I don't think, I didn't have my thing on.
So it will be an estimate. I will put an estimate on there. I will do like, this is how much it is so far.
So far,
So
yes.
whatever it costs, like for the Ubers or anything
Yeah.
that
Yes.
might happen when they're out there, that would be extra, but I will put an estimate for anything.
Yeah,
now.
only because again, where I work, that's how we have a sheet, and it just like this is what
And,
gets
and
approved.
it's done like that, but it's just that, I guess she didn't get that backup for you.
Yeah,
So normally it is, because I've seen it before.
I was a little upset because I was like, man, I approved that, and there was not even a dollar amount on it, so I was worried about that. So that's why I did look at the
But
stuff.
didn't
So
you,
it's fine.
because it was ahead of time, because we had to do the reservations, because then it gets booked.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, doing an estimate would be fine, and then you could
Because you can go
also-
on there, look, and
Yeah,
see
you could
more or less
also
what it's
send
gonna be.
them an email with the actual
If it's,
charges.
if it's okay with the council, I can, once I do.
The
We do,
reservation.
it's a travel expense report.
Oh, yeah.
And we send that to the finance, which has
That's-
the backup
yes.
of hotel that they're staying at, has the flights or mileage or
Mhm.
whatever the charges are gonna be. I send that to the finance to get the checks cut out for whoever's
Mm-hmm.
going to the conference. If the council is okay with it, the next time I will send it out to everybody.
Yeah,
at the
only to
conference.
be
everybody knows,
to be
yeah.
transparent, and no, we're not hiding anything. Just to that it's out there.
There
and,
shouldn't be a problem.
And yeah, just so that again we're on the same page.
I will forward to all the council the travel expense that I send to the finance office to get the checks for
Paid,
whoever's
yeah.
going to that, so that you guys will see exactly what is being
Mm-hmm.
spent.
Okay, thank you.
Besides what the charges are that are
Yeah.
on there.
Do we?
That
Okay.
was my. I just wanted to clarify all that.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Trino. Do I have a
Second.
Second by Sabrina. All those in favor? Motion carries 5 yes.
Okay. Our first item of regular business is consideration necessary action on the adoption of a mitigated negative declaration and determination of whether to carry out the City of Parlier flood protection Flores Basin project. We did this is the environmental on the Flores Field project, and this is the resolution for the mitigated negative declaration. And so if you want some more information on the project, we can have Javier give you a little more information. This is the flooding project. And so,
The one on J Street, right?
yes, and
Yeah.
so I think you guys are
We've
familiar
gone
with
over it several
yeah.
times, but
But
I'm not sure if the public might have some questions on, as far as.
That's the one that happens every year, right?
Yes, but this is so we can move forward on it. This is the environmental that's been
The one that
completed,
gets
so we
flooded
can
on J Street.
take the next step and move forward.
Any questions for the J Street project for flooding?
I have a question.
Yeah. Well, that area kind of gets flooded, it's just because of the way, I guess, the roads were designed back then, and the engineering was not, I mean, it's ancient. So,
I think-
he's updating our,
Yeah.
on J Street, what's the, Tuolumne Street.
Jan Tuolumne, it gets flooded, but the basin would go all the way to
Flores Field.
Flores Field.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It floods up there too, and one year, it's been several years, we even have it, we had it flood
All the way
back to the back garages, remember it was about this
Ice,
high?
yeah.
So it's not only on J
No,
Street.
Yeah,
and
it'll
it's
come
not
through
designed for
down that
just
way.
that area.
But so
It's-
this project should help flooding
All
all
that
over that whole
area.
entire area in that side of
flow
town.
Water can go. Yeah,
Flooding that.
I know it,
Javier,
get the message
Javier,
on
can you explain how that's gonna be, real quick, how that's gonna be taken care of?
Yeah, so essentially, last time it flooded, that's when we started looking at different grants, and we finally got the grant, and we're moving forward. The council is pushing for this project, and obviously it's really important to the city. And with that, the reason we're getting flooding there is because that entire quadrant, Merced Street, all the way to school, all the way to Manning, essentially, starting from K, all of that quadrant drains to one location, which is right behind Sunwest. We have a small basin there. It's undersized, and then eventually it makes it to Forest Fields. It's not making it there fast enough. And on top of that, that location has a lot of houses that are depressed from the actual road profile.
Correct me if I'm wrong, about 25 years, you guys have been here, about 25 years ago, they redid that whole back area because of the water, because of the flooding. I remember they dug out the whole alley behind, between Merced.
Yeah, Aurora, they did, but you know what they did? They just went ahead and put the 4-inch piping, I think it was, and they didn't put, I think you're gonna put 8-inch or
50-inch.
say, yeah.
I think that the only thing that I've seen that was done back, I think it was in 2010, I believe, somewhere around that time, the city, I guess, gave some of those residents funds to work on the. Well. Oh, that's, yeah. No, the one that I seen, the only thing that I seen from that area was that, and they at the city.
That was after the flooding.
Yeah, it was after the flooding. They used some self-help funds to help the residents in that area that was flooded on J Street and what, Tuolumne?
Tuolumne.
Yeah.
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 So where I know where she's saying that, and they did fix that back then. I think it was the alley behind, right? Until Larry, yeah, because that's the back of my house. That's why I say I don't think that's why they're saying the engineering part wasn't done correctly because it's not flowing fast enough or not flowing the right. I drove around that area and there was only two to three drains, and one is at the corner of Merced, and then it's by the alleyway by Tuolumne, that cross intersection. but that's what's getting flooded. So this is gonna alleviate all that water building up there. Yes. Yes.
You guys are gonna have to go up to the podium so that everybody can hear.
Everybody that's on YouTube can hear you. It's like
It's not my fault, but part of that question, no, because the fire department was called out to help with the pumping issues back in the day. It was rectified for the short term. The problem is because Manning Avenue is that main strip there. When we did get the torrential downpours, unfortunately J and K had the additional runoff. So that was just extra, but that was filling into the ponding basin right next to the Catholic Hall. Well, come along SunWest with the large facility that I worked for, that caught a lot of water as well, and we had backup. So that was an additional thousands and thousands of gallons. So it was done right at that time in that era, but because SunWest expanded so much and everything else that happened, it was
And that's where we
overfilled.
saw the
honestly,
problem.
I think the way Javier explained it to me before, I think the pipes they used to use were not as large as when you go on Manning and you see all these. They're huge, so they make sure for it to be ready for any type of growth in the future. So, well, this will help. And even though you're not going to see it directly in front of your home that they're working, it should keep the flow going. So, and we'll find out after the rainy season, once this is done, if there's other areas that need to be taken care of like that as well. So we'll find out in the future. So.
I'm sure you took that into consideration, but that SunWest, they have so many drains throughout.
No, we absolutely took that into consideration. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for being honest.
Well, at least you helped us with knowing, because I didn't know. I mean, all I remember seeing was just, I didn't see any expenditures for what was done. Well, it was way before I was here, so I'm sure it was done, but like you said, it was the time was different. So thank you again.
We saw SunWest, where it led to.
So we have another item on the agenda, which is
Okay.
We have a motion.
We need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot. I just started talking about it. I'm sorry. So do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Okay, motion from Sabrina, second from Trino. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, next item is resolution to approve city manager to submit and sign claims for Measure C allocation pass-through to Fresno County Transportation Authority for fiscal year 2022-23.
Okay. And this is just to, let me see.
And so this is just a resolution for the Measure C.
Okay, for our Measure C,
Mhm.
what we were talking about. Okay. So do anybody have any questions?
Can I add to that?
Yes.
We'll be receiving 545,000. For ADA, we'll be receiving 8,465. For the street maintenance, 241,000, and for our flexible funding, 295,000.
Thank you. So any questions? You. Humberto.
No, nomás, since you're talking about transportation, it only deals with transportation, because that's one of the problems that we were discussing yesterday. It's only deals with transportation.
I know.
It was a lengthy discussion
Yeah,
yesterday,
no.
and it's about transportation. You're asking if we're going to receive extra funds for the transportation? Or what is your
Yeah, more funds for transportation. Also, we're going to have more transportation available because you get all those young kids. I mean, that they're walking up to 5 miles, and then they
we
get
do
on the
need it.
bike.
We're trying to figure out ways to provide more of the transportation, not just necessarily with Measure C funds, but something that we can do
Right.
for the surrounding cities. We were talking about it with Sonia.
We're working on different studies to help bring some rural transportation here to southeast Fresno County. And we're working with Moses Stites and partnering in on some studies there and bringing some electric buses out here.
It will be fantastic because I'm trying to get more kids to study. We got Fresno City, we got Greeley City, I mean, all the small colleges.
Yes.
But they don't have no transportation, the kids, because we use the car. The parents use the only car that we have, so we can go to work. So I'm glad that, so ask for more money, basically. Don't ask only for what they're giving us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I have a question real quick. Ali, on I think it's just different, but just confirm if I'm reading right. The claim for Measure C, what we're supposed to get, the 545,000, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then it's broken down on the resolution, those amounts you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right, because on here, it just says financial impact of the total amount, but it's not broken down like you have it on the other one.
On the staff report?
Yeah,
At the bottom?
at the okay, yeah. Okay, it's right here. Okay, now then I got it. Thank you.
No? So do we have a motion to approve? Is this Sabrina and second? Second by Kathy. All those in favor? Motion carries 5 yes.
Next item is approving a resolution to continue operations of the city of Parlier and making a budget and making appropriations for fiscal year 2023, all in accordance with the budget adopted for fiscal year 2021 to 2022. And so this budget year, because we were working on several different things, the tax rolls and then the departments, we've had some other issues come up. The separate department budgets with Public Works, we had a death in the family. And with other departments, we haven't come to an agreement with with the amount. And so.
Are they still working on their budgets? Is that what they're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
And so because of all of those things, I'm asking the council for a continuing budget. And then we'll work on preparing a budget for mid-year. And so Ellie will just continue the budget that we have now and operate it on as the same as our 2021-22 budget.
So, when do you think we'll be able to bring that?
Mid-year.
Okay.
We'll have it by mid-year.
By when?
By mid-year.
Which is
Mid fiscal year.
Yes.
What?
By the well, when do you think?
January.
I would say in December 31st is mid-year. But before then, we would have it. I would say by November.
Yeah, and I know we've run into some problems, and I know Ali, and on top of all this, but we, those are things that we as a council like to know, because I mean, it's like me getting a check and not knowing where the money is going to. We're making decisions out here, and we have to make sure that we're, and I'm sure you're on top of all that, and so are you. So. But the thing is that these things, and this year I'm going to be okay with it, because I know we had a death, and then there was other things that happened that we.
And normally, when you approve a budget, you got to know what everybody's budget for every department is, and you can't just say, okay, we're going to approve this.
And I understand that, but
that's what she's trying to work with everybody and making sure that they provide their budget for that year.
There's certain departments that we've had. We're still working on and coming to some agreements, and we haven't come to an agreement.
All right.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Just say it. We're still working.
Oh, yeah,
we're working with the PD to come to negotiate with our agreement. So it's that's the thing is, once they're working with it, and then we finally have something that we agreed on with them, then you can actually adopt the budget. So we can't do it
until we
with everybody else and not the PD. So we have to wait.
Go ahead, Holly.
Oh, even the Public Works Department. I know Javier is taking over Public Works / engineering position.
And he took that over right right at
Yeah.
the same time
Yeah,
budget
so it's-
was coming up.
It's been a little hard.
And by the way,
An extension would be great.
and by the way, Javier, thank you for taking over. It was something that we just threw on you, and you were able to pick it up right away, and we really appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is gonna take that long though, Ally, just depending on where you guys come and.
Actually, I'm looking at that time because of the negotiation.
Okay, that's what I was saying, because it's a negotiation, right? Okay, all right.
I'm crossing my fingers and hoping.
Okay.
Hopefully sooner than later, right? So.
Can we get an update with
Yes.
next couple of months to see where we're
Absolutely.
at?
We'll give you regular updates.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there any other questions? No? Any from the public? No? Okay, thank you. And so do we have a motion to approve? Okay, motion from Diane and second. Kathy, cause.
Okay.
Yeah. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5 yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
We have item number 7.
Item number 7, I'll let Neil present that one.
Mayor, members of the council, we continued consideration of a couple of resolutions that would have placed a collection of delinquent charges for water, sewer, and garbage collection on the tax rolls to our regular meeting yesterday, which was canceled, so we didn't have the public hearing. But before we even got to that point, we were going through all of the various delinquent accounts. There's approximately 1,700 or more of these things. The level to which these delinquencies are accounts in the name of a tenant as opposed to a property owner is very, very high. For example, your delinquent water fees are approximately $400,000. There's probably only $20,000 of that are delinquencies in the name of people who are property owners. So it simply is not worth the time expenditure and effort to place those small amounts of delinquent charges for property owners on the tax rolls, and in the process separate out all the ones that aren't in the name of the property owners. So we're simply recommending that you defer doing this until next year, which is the next time that you'll be able to do this, because this is an annual thing that you can only do within a particular window of time, basically between June and August 10th, okay? So we're recommending that you simply defer this until next year at or about this time. And in the meantime, we will have your finance department, and I will assist them in this, send out appropriate letters and notifications that would hopefully have the impact of changing all of your service accounts to service accounts that are held in the name of the property owner and nobody but the property owner. You actually have ordinances that require that. For some reason, which I don't think we've been able to reconstruct, for many, many years, there has been a practice allowing people to put water and garbage and sewer in the name of a tenant. And so we're simply trying to reverse that practice. We've already started refusing to open up new accounts in the names of tenants. And in the near future, we will simply issue a letter to all of the property owners, all of the account holders, basically telling them that we need them to come into City Hall or contact us in some fashion and arrange to put that account in their name. If we don't get a response of some type, we will follow that up with a 15-day notice that unless it gets done, the water, the garbage, whatever the case may be, is going to get shut down.
Thank you, Neil. I wanted to say something because I know that there was a lot of questions and that were on social media again, but pertaining to this whole deal with the tax rolls and how people weren't paying and why because a lot of and it's a shame that a lot of our staff members got blamed for what happened in the past. And it's and during that time that we were looking into it, I found out that speaking to one of our former employees that used to run the finance as well, she was accused as well on social media for telling staff not to collect. And I spoke to her and she was very upset. And I mentioned that I was going to make sure that people knew that this is not a decision that was made by her, because the former city manager at that time told them not to collect on those existing accounts that had balances, which we encountered that situation where people purchased homes that had an existing balance on the account. And the city's not going to know when people sell their homes because the city doesn't get notified like we sold our home. So, and because of the last city manager that was there in 2016, was the directive that he gave his staff not to collect. So it was not her decision and making sure that the staff wouldn't collect. So I just wanted to make sure that people knew that it was, because she was very upset when I ran into her one day. And she said that it was not her decision. That's not something that she can make a decision like that. And I told her I agree. And I'm sorry that that happened to you. But that I was going to make sure that people understood that this is not something that any of our staff can make a decision like that. It would only be either if we discuss it in council and give direction to our city manager. That's the only way. But in that situation, those balances were never, ever brought to the council, because when in 2014, before I got elected, there was accounts that were overcharged because there were problems with the water meters. So the billing that was overcharged, the billings that people that got the billings of $400 or whatever it was. And at that time, I asked the city manager, did you do an audit to make sure to fix those issues? And he told me yes, but he did not. The way he fixed that problem was to leave it on the account and not collect. So that is why people encountered those accounts in some of the homes that were dealing with that, the ones that actually sold their homes and they came in and they purchased the house, and now it's an account that has an existing balance. So I just wanted to make sure people understood what happened instead of what's being said always on social media that's not accurate information. So I just wanted to make sure that people do not accuse our staff. They're fixing the problems from the past. And that's all they can do. And people that were our former employees, they're just also following direction from their boss. So it's not staff that made those choices or made those decisions. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you, Neil.
And with respect to this particular item at this time, I don't even need any action by the council unless you've got some objections to the plan as I've laid it out to you. That's the way in which we're going to proceed.
Yes, and I think it's best because there's still, I believe you're still working on some of the accounts that are where balances that were on the accounts. Go ahead, Ellie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work to trace who bought a property, who's the owner, and we're doing it, but we're doing it slowly because we also have our regular duties. So it's going to take time to go over, 1,800 accounts plus another, 1,500 active accounts or whatever, it's going to take time. Overall, like 3,000 accounts. It's just going to take time. So if I could ask for the council's patience and all the residents' patience, we're going to get this cleared up. I mean, you figured this happened years ago, and we're not going to clean it up in a couple of months, so we need time. So I appreciate everybody's patience.
All right, so then we can move on to the next item, which...
Mayor?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
First of all, I really want to thank you for taking that position, but I want to make sure that everything will be done correct. I'm going to achievement, Mayor. You've been elected for 8 years already, right? Well, the first time that you went on this side, they asked me to tell you that you owe money for water. So I'm going into the achievement, okay? So, that's what I'm telling you. No, I don't have Facebook.
And Humberto, before you start, yes, the man that was sitting with you, he brought me a bill of this lady that lived on Young Street. I've never lived on Young Street.
No, I don't know now.
But that meeting that you're talking about, del chisme, yeah, he came up to me and he goes, "This is yours," and I'm like, "I've never lived on Young Street, so I mean, I'm not the only Beltran around here. So if they see a Beltran, don't just assume that it's got to be the mayor's bill." And it had I'm not even going to say the first name because I don't want to put her out there, but yeah, it was.
Just let me. I don't know that chisme. I was asked to ask you 8 years ago. So since now we're trying to fix all this issue, I'm hoping that you send a letter to yourself. It was true. Send a letter to yourself, stating that you owe this money. Because we got all the same letter, remember? On the previous meeting, so I'm glad that you guys are taking this position. No, I don't want to know that. I'm just telling you what I was told to ask, and that's why I'm saying that I really thank you for this position and I'm hoping that it's going to be a decision that is going to be good for the people, because it's totally unfair that the owner will end up paying 3, 4, 5 years of previous tenants that were living there, and he not even knew about it. So that's my problem.
And that's good. That's why she mentioned that. We don't know who's lived in that property, because remember, they would put people's renters' names on those properties. So we don't know if it's not the owner. They're changing names and changing tenants, so it's stuck on that. Balance is on that account, on that address. So if, say, you're living there and then you move out and somebody else comes into that address, you left a balance, that other person in that property. That's why we're trying to change it to make sure that it's only the landlord, because that way the landlord can make sure that his tenant paid his utility bill.
Well, one thing is that I appreciate what my president, you always tell me, my president did, to give us a big subsidy, to take care of all those money that we're on because of water, or because of gas, or because of all those things. And I hope that we will take advantage of that. But I just want to let you know that we need to clear up all the stuff that is going on, because it's affecting all of us. So if I'm not paying my water, I'm going to receive a notice that, hey, your water is going to be shut off within this time, so you don't pay. And then it will be up to me to come here and make arrangements when I'm going to be paying. But if I'm trying to pay for somebody else, that will be my issue. So thank you for this.
And it's true. That's why she's trying to fix that. But remember, because of COVID, we couldn't do any shutoffs.
No, I know that.
So that's why we couldn't even go and make sure that they paid and make payment arrangements, because they would send them the letters to notify them you're behind, come in and make a payment arrangement. And if they didn't come in, we couldn't shut them off, because that's the emergency plan that we had to do because of COVID. We couldn't do that.
But we got the subsidies from to pay those bills. You know, we got the subsidies to pay those bills from the federal government. So, so see, they miss their opportunity. I mean, you know,
And we,
I don't-
we put
I
it
don't
on,
know what it is.
we credited some bills.
Yeah, we got some money, but we didn't get like money to wipe out the bill. It was just during the COVID time, during a certain
I
amount
know
of
that.
time.
I know
Yeah,
that.
we got, about 90.
That's what I'm talking about. Use the COVID time, you know, that you guys were
Yeah, but it-
precluded from
yeah.
shutting down the water,
Yeah.
you know, and gas or anything.
Yeah.
You know, but we got
But-
some subsidies to yet pay that, you know. So, see, we don't pay attention to that, then it's our problem. Thank you for doing this anyway.
Okay, thank you.
So did their bills add up? I'm just asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, I
Yes,
did.
they added up. Well, it's better that you did, but they still have to pay it. Yeah. All it does is add up.
Just have a correction with Mr. Gomez. I believe in 2016, Mayor, you didn't pay for 2 years your water bill. Came to about $980. You do understand that. You know that's true. The other one is you haven't paid all your penalties and shut-off bills.
It's a personal attack with, okay, like I told you, go ahead and campaign.
No, I'm not-
do it
I'm
the
not asking
right
about
way. You
campaigning,
just want-
ma'am.
Okay,
I'm
you're
not-
talking about me and
I'm being
focus on
very
me.
civil right now.
Dorothy,
I have the bill right here.
Mr. Banuelos.
It's
Mr.
2
Banuelos.
years you haven't paid.
Mr. Banuelos. Fernando. We're not discussing that right now. We're on another subject. You already had your turn for 3 minutes, over 3 minutes. So please, we are not going to listen to that. We're not going to be sitting here, you going over and over that. You want to bring it to
Mr.
the...
Pimentel.
Listen to what I'm saying. You want to bring it to the next meeting, bring it to
Sure,
the next
okay.
meeting. But at this point, we're not
Much.
discussing that right now.
Good. Okay, thank you very much. I'll
Thank,
do that.
Thank you, Mr. Banuelos.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
okay, we have one more item.
Okay.
I just want to do a present. I just want to.
I don't know to whom you were referring, the man that is sitting by you.
Yeah, that
Okay.
I just want to do
He never told me anything, and not even, you know,
Okay.
Okay, I just want to do a quick announcement, Humberto. We received a grant to build your park. So we received $4.1 million to build the West Side Park, the West Side Park, and the IN Parlier Sports Park. So it's almost 10 acres, and it's got sports fields, picnic areas, playgrounds, you name it. So it's going to be the largest park in Parlier.
And people are already hearing about this park because we shared it on social media. And Sanger, well, I'll send you pictures. I'll make sure we can print out some pictures.
So you finally got your park.
Yeah, so it's gonna have the softball field, soccer field, ADA park. I think there's a splash park too.
We're going to end up putting a splash park. Oh, a bike pump track.
Yeah. So it's the largest one. I think this is the largest park in this area, right? I don't think Sanger. Okay.
So Humberto, you know how you tell me like this on this park right here? Well, yours is like this.
Yes.
So that's going to cover for all the parks we have here. It's going to cover it in one park. No, you're good.
Yeah.
But let me tell you one thing about that park. It's got splash for the kids. It's got a playground for the kids. It's got a barbecue area for the adults. It's got a soccer field for the older kids. So in that little park, we have a lot of recreation,
Everything.
keeping the kids off the street.
And phase 2 of the park
But
is
there-
going to be the indoor facility.
And you know what I like about the indoor facility is that it's going to have the batting cages for the kids that are in high school that always want to practice and they can't get to Fresno or they can't get to Dinuba, like we were talking about transportation. They'll have it here. They'll have it here in Parlier where they can practice. So for the ones that are in the softball,
don't
I
have
think
to
you
go
had
out
a
of
question.
town.
Oh, and the walking trail will take you all the way from that end of Parlier to the other end of Parlier. We'll have a walking trail that'll take you here to City Hall.
I
talking about, there is the one on Adams and Academy and Adams.
Yes, yes. South and East County.
I would like to mention something.
Okay, we got a gentleman up there that wants to
I'd like
speak.
to mention something.
Please, Humberto.
I'd like to mention something. Sonia and Javier did an outstanding job coming up with that project. I mean, unbelievable. Sonia has made this town go forward.
And Javier.
Her grants, and one moment, please. With her grants, Javier, the same thing, Javier, for the people that are on live stream, because of Sonia and Javier came with that project. We need them. They're good for our town.
Absolutely. We were never going to, as long as we're here, we're not going to get rid of them. But one of the things that I wanted to share that I know that a lot of people didn't know, and this was Javier's idea, was that he included the kids of all Parlier elementary schools to give their input of what they wanted in this park. So Javier and Sonia set it all up. I was there able to hear what they were saying and what they wanted. So they did a fantastic job. We were trying for this for a while, right,
Yes,
Sonia?
it's been a long time coming.
And before Sonia got in here and took this position, the last city manager in 2018 was trying to do it too. And actually, I'm so excited that finally with Sonia and Javier, it was able to come to fruition. So thank you guys.
Well, not only that, that shows to prove that proves that we listen to our constituents. The same thing that happened on Earl Roos Park, that ADA park, that was brought up on an idea from one of our parents, and the mayor followed up with it with Sonia and them, and we got it done. So we're not just sitting up here. If you guys got ideas and you want to share them, either with Sonia or the mayor or myself, or any of the council members.
And I think, Doreen, didn't you want that skateboard park? I believe it's going to accommodate
It's
what
going
you
to
wanted.
accommodate what you want there.
That's good.
Go ahead. I think he's been waiting. Just déjalo, deja un poquito.
My problem is that it was a hazardous waste. So that's what I want to say. So be careful. A hazardous waste area. They were cleaning the air. They were airing other dirt from other areas.
On Academy?
He's worried about the contamination possibly.
Is there?
No, I think that's what he's asking. He's worried about maybe contamination of the
Lot of
fill and
dust
dirt.
over there. Lot of dust.
Oh, it's okay.
Right? Doesn't
Yeah,
have
there's
to
a whole environmental process. This is just
It's
a
fine.
award, and then you have to start the
Yeah.
environmental planning.
You can't see.
But you
That-
can remediate it.
That's great news to hear. I'm sorry, Stephen Lopez again, 335 Herring Street. Congratulations on the hard work that you guys have done, your staff and the council as well, and all the government assistance with that. I do have just kind of not a concern, but two questions. First one, where is that going to be at?
On South and Academy.
South and Academy.
Like going to Sanger?
Yep, I'm very well of the area. So is it going to be on the east side of the road, or?
Mhm.
Okay, of course, that's the city. Some of the things to take and consider, and I'm sure the chief has probably brought it up, but me as a concerned citizen and also a father, is having such a large park like that, are you going to have sufficient lighting?
Oh,
maybe for night?
absolutely, absolutely.
And
The grant will
cameras
pay
as
for
well,
the lighting,
yes.
the cameras,
Yes.
fencing, everything.
The deterrence, because I've gone through some of the parks here that we've had in the city prior, and yes, they've been disbanded or whatever the case may be, but especially to assist, the Parlier's finest and have a sense of security with family members out there.
Absolutely.
Being so large, just have that deterrence, because we all know that there's bad influences out there. that
Absolutely.
Looking, especially to help combat some of the graffiti.
Yeah, the cameras are going to be great, but I think the chief can agree with me on this. The community has to get involved too. When you're out there or you see something going on at the park, just call the police department or 911, whatever, depending on the emergency, right?
Yeah, don't
But,
call 911.
yeah, no, not just to call them, but I mean, if you have something that you see something, that you report it so that the officers are aware of what's going on out there. Because the cameras are great, but sometimes you can't catch everything on cameras. But if you see something,
It's a huge deterrent.
Yeah.
Greeley Beach, they put them up, and I'm sure that their crime
Yes.
has diminished
And
a bit.
so the city did also receive another grant, very competitive grant through California State Parks, and this is for recreation for the youth, summer recreation program. And the chief is already taking advantage of it, and he's taking the youth to Monterey, taking them on a trip to the Monterey Aquarium. What date is it?
The mic, make sure you have the mic on.
In 2 weeks, we're coordinating with the school district. School district's going to help us out with some transportation, but we're going to take about 25 kids to Monterey, enjoy the day, enjoy the aquarium, the beach, and have a really good time. So, yeah, thank you, Sonia, because we really need that. That's part of one of our strategies is to develop and cultivate the relationships with the youth in this community and get involved and interact. So, yes, and that's one of many. So thanks for that grant tremendously.
So,
you have to be a chaperone.
I'll be a chaperone. That's good.
So we have the funds to do that, and also to be able to take the youth on camping trips as well.
And you know,
To-
another
to-
thing that you
to
didn't
Big
mention
Sur.
is
Yeah.
that with them, isn't it the seniors are also going to
Yes,
be?
for the not just the youth, but also the seniors.
Seniors are going. Our seniors are going to be able to go and attend.
Yeah, it's going to be great, Chief, because when we were involved with the state Parks and Recreation, we would take them for a 3-day camp out. Actually, one time we went over there close to Oregon, and I didn't want to see Bigfoot, so I make sure that. But it's really exciting to take the kids out there, and it's not only pleasurable for them, but it's a heck of an experience for even somebody like myself that I didn't like camping, but that showed me that there was something out there good. So it's going to be a big plus for these young kids. And right now we need to attend to our children.
This grant pays for the youth to be able to 10 youth to be able to go on this really. It's like a 6-day excursion hiking trip to the High Sierras and a hiking trip to just enjoy the outdoors. And it's with a hiking crew, a professional hiking team that takes the youth out. And so the older youth. The older youth.
Closed session, Neil?
You have
Closed session,
one
Neil.
personnel item, all positions, and then you have one item of potential litigation.
Any questions from the public?
What's the potential litigation?
Yes.
It will be, I will very happy and I will shut up my mouth, when I find out on what we're litigating and against who. This is the only place where I see this, and I know and I admire him as an attorney. I told him and as a person. But, we need to know. We need to know. I mean, you don't have to say details about how the defense or how litigation is going to be. But I think we need to have a full process to know who's fighting us. If I file something, I'm going to make sure that you know that I'm fighting something.
Neil,
If we had actual litigation, I'd be able to tell you that.
Yeah.
The way the Brown Act is set up, when I have the potential for litigation, which means nobody's filed suit against anybody else, I'm not allowed to disclose who it is I'm fighting with.
Right.
Or potentially fighting with.
But
What he's
that
trying to
would make me happy because you guys been using the same language for a long, long time.
I
Since
hate to
basically
say it,
you've
but
been
everybody
around.
always tries to sue,
know.
especially in California.
But I hear you.
A
I hear you.
lot of times these things don't materialize, and it's simply a threat that the council, I think, needs to be cognizant of in case it does materialize into something. 9 times out of 10, that's usually the case.
I understand.
But the Brown Act simply does not allow me, or the city rather, to disclose that kind of detail when we're talking about the potential for litigation as opposed to actual litigation.
I got to go back to my research so then
But
I
I
can
think-
come back.
And you know what? I think you probably, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but when it is an actual litigation, it actually has the name of the person versus the city of Parlier. So and it's true, you know, we do see that on the closed session. And we can get some of the examples,
Well,
like from the
whenever-
last ones.
Whenever there's names, Mayor, I would be happy just to know against who we litigate on or how we fighting or not how we fighting, who we litigating with.
Yeah, like
either-
the name,
either-
right? You're saying, yeah.
Yeah,
but-
we used to have the oil companies.
Well,
before,
let me
because that
tell-
was our only litigation that we used to have before.
And you can't really, like Neil said, you can't, because there was one time with not Neil, there was the other city attorney that actually put the name of the person, and that person tried to sue us too for putting the name of them on our agenda. So that is why he has to do it the way he
hear
does
you.
it.
I hear you. But anyway, I think we're hoping that you guys will stop the gossip. Don't look at any blue books, whatever you call it. You know, because I don't want to hear that stuff here, Mayor, to be very honest.
Okay.
We want to resolve the trees of the barbecue.
Those trees again. Okay, so then we're going to be going into closed session, and then once we return, then you will call you. There's nothing to report. Meeting adjourned.